And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our football segment of episode 167 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. I am your co-host, Reggie. We are here. We're going to start out with our NCAA football. If you have a moment, go back and listen. First of all, if you have a moment, go back, like, follow, subscribe. Got the Dion fingers. Like, follow, subscribe. You know you can't point.
We on the way.
We on the way. We coming. And we here. Hey, your friend said that. Your friend made that weird in the group chat. But so we talked about our HBCU segment. Go back and listen to that. If you've noticed in the Splashcast we released the abbreviated version, or I call it the I had a name for it, but now I realize that is obscene. Let me get myself together.
Less obscenities into 2025, Lord. Guide us.
What? What? Do you know what 2025 about to see? We need all the obscenities. Whatever, we need them all because we're gonna be yelling them all. But the abbreviated version on Spotify. We only release
people to your house.
Oh, see, you be setting me up, dog. You be setting me up to get us. You talking about I'm gonna get us canceled, and you just be giving me the alley-oop right there. Y'all know I'm But the HBCU segment, if you've noticed, the HBCU, the football, and the basketball are all released on YouTube separately now in about hour to hour and a half segments. That way you can listen to everything. We also release each segment by itself after the initial release. And on Spotify, we give you an hour preview, which gives you a little bit of the all of the HBCU, a little bit of the football, a little bit of the NFL, college, and a little bit of the basketball, as well as the pregame. So no matter how much time you have, what you're looking for, who you want to talk to, what you want to listen to, we got you covered, and you can get to it expeditiously. So give us a like and a follow, man.
Okay, Clifford.
I'm out here, dog.
Cliff Harris.
Hey, man. Look, man. See, there's another joke. I want kids that's not like King. But with that being said, I may have to edit that out. I live in Atlanta.
He said he don't want no kid to look like a Muppet, and that's messed up.
Ooh.
Show that.
Animal.
Yeah,
look like you played a jump. Animal.
Oh, no. I thought you were going to show the clip. LOA is going to continue to. I mean, he's of age. He can get these jokes. It is what it is.
So let's start out with college football. Let's get into it. We're going to start off with something interesting. I changed the order a little bit. We're going to start off with a struggle win. So the number one team in the nation, Oregon, gets the win over Wisconsin 17-16?
No, 16-13 if I remember correctly.
16-13.
I could misremember as well.
I should have had the scores put up.
Either way, it is way too close. Dan Lanning, we have given him a lot of space and said that, hey, man, we believe that you're a really good coach. I don't know what the difference is. I think some of it is just having tape, but they looked better last year, but they got the job done. They're still undefeated. So you really can't get mad, but this don't look great. 16-13 and 10 points in the fourth quarter. Nah. Now, you can say that, hey, didn't lose a trap game.
Well, I agree. I don't know what to say. I don't know to give him grace because one of the hardest places to play is Madison, Wisconsin, because of the crowd and the culture. Take with that what you will. And the fact that they run the ball really, really well. They shortened the game. And for the most part, after the first quarter, it was 6-0, 2 field goals. And then Wisconsin just shortened the game and scored 10 points in the second, 3 points in the third. And I was like, oh, it's 13-6. And then Oregon came through in the clutch in the fourth quarter. The defense actually played really, really well in the second half and only allowed a field goal. And they ended up getting the game-winning interception with 1 minute to go when Wisconsin was forced to throw the ball. So I do think that Oregon is a good team. Do I think Oregon is the best team in the nation? I don't know who's the best team in the nation.
No, parity is back in a big way with free agency, and by free agency I mean the trans.
Up, 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 up. Okay, there we go.
That's a hell of a transition. uh,
Forgot to scroll.
Ohio State, they won 32-31. Ohio State, I don't trust them that much either. And then they beat Illinois 38-9. That was a good win for them. But they really haven't played anybody all season. I mean, Idaho. I mean, they beat Boise. But this is the reason
they barely beat Boise too, right?
Yep, 37-34. That's also the reason that it's tough to respect anybody else's conference. Because it don't look like anything. That schedule just don't look like anything. That schedule don't look like, I mean, my team's Florida. We've had a terrible schedule down the end. Y'all didn't play anything close to that.
Yeah, even my team, I think we have the strongest schedule in the nation now because one, and we'll get to it, Florida got better. And then so like our sorry teams ended up being good. And we've only played 3 home games.
No. I'm just you talking about Florida being better. That's a problem in my life.
Oh, and I did not mean that as a shot either. I just meant for Georgia, for Georgia's strength of schedule, that Florida win actually probably a Florida win it makes it better. So Georgia beat Tennessee. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no. I was gonna go with this. I don't want anybody to say anything about any conference other than the SEC. We're just waiting for the SEC to sort it out, and the rest of you guys are chumps. You can proceed.
Yeah. So the string of, and this is the highlight of parity is apparent in the SEC. The top team in the SEC has lost, I think, 4 weeks in a row now. 4 or 5 weeks in a row.
Jump up to get beat down.
Tennessee went into Athens, started off strong, was up 10-0 after the first half. After the first quarter and then that defense from Georgia, and it was actually up 17-3, 17-10. And then that defense from Georgia just absolutely blanked Tennessee in the second half.
I was hoping y'all was gonna lose this game.
I thought it was. So
I was ready to come in here dance on y'all grave. My Lord, I would have been happy if y'all lost again.
That's why we won, because you was being you. So Georgia won 31-17. That defense, they are dominant. They may not have a lot of names this year, but man, when they decide that you just not gonna score no more, you just not gonna score no more.
When they don't always flip the switch, but when the switch is flipped, there's nothing you can do but get out of the way. Literally nothing you can do.
And the offense actually helped them out. Offensive player. Yeah, I thought Pierce, you're right, Sneaky, and we'll get to it. I thought Pierce for Tennessee was good, and he is good, but that offensive line for Georgia took this game personally after getting all straight up embarrassed and punked by Ole Miss and Oxford. Carson Beck was who we thought he was going to be at the beginning of the season. We thought Carson Beck was this guy. He's player of the week, offensive player of the week. 25 of 40, 25 of 40, 347 yards, 32 rushing yards, 1 rushing TD. No interceptions, no bad passes, no mistakes, really good game manager football, and actually started running. This is who we thought he was going to be at the very beginning of the season, not this 15 interceptions in 4 games type guy. Shout out to Carson Beck, man. And shout out to Mike Bobo.
Consignment backup. He looks like he could be the next Spencer Rattler, where your draft stock drops and you actually fall lower than where you actually are, and you actually probably get drafted by a decent team, but you probably won't play.
Yeah. Definitely see him as the next Nick Foles type guy. I think he'll be a good person to back up somebody like you said, and he could come in and manage the game. Um, Shout out to Georgia. 8 straight wins over Tennessee.
Ain't no shout out to Georgia, nothing.
8 straight wins over Tennessee. The last time Tennessee
Damn.
won, Jawan Jennings caught the Hail Mary in Athens. It was the last time that they won. Jawan Jennings is in his 7th year in the league with the San Francisco 49ers.
That man cemented to be a part of a whole team. He got a whole career, and y'all ain't beat him. Now Tennessee, I don't got no answer for that. It's nothing but that's embarrassing.
To answer your question, Sneaky, is he? We shout out to our live viewers. Is Stetson is Carson Beck better than Stetson Bennett? Talent wise, yes. He has a bigger arm. He's 6'4". He's not as fast, but he's mobile. He can fit the ball in tight spaces if he can read the coverage. He can throw the ball down the field. Strong arm, former baseball player. But he does not have the intangibles.
Yes. That's like Stetson kind of has he reminds me of Brock Purdy a little bit, where he might not be the best guy, but it's just he knows how to get it done if everything around him is good. Now, you can't put Stetson on no bad team. You can't put him on the Jaguars and think that there's going to be a difference. Even though that's tough.
What we've noticed is nobody can go to the Jaguars and think it's going to be a difference. And shout out to Blake Bortles looking like George W. Bush while y'all looking at Trump. He like, ha, ha, ha. Y'all thought I was bad. Bitch, I ain't looked that bad. Now, at least we made it to the AFC Championship with me.
Funny story. And this guy is the highest recruited guy in college football history. He was supposed to be Peyton Manning Jr. And who's only been telling you his entire career that he is not good? It almost reminds you of the other guy, Daniel Dimes, who Norwood also said you should not pay. It's almost like we'll tell you that these guys suck because they've never been good, and then you just give them boatloads of money anyway and push your franchise into immediate disarray. But, hey, this is the thing. It's an excellent storyline. I like to watch it, and I watch every season of it. So go Jaguars and go Giants. And, hell, go Jets.
Who is more likely to fool themselves into drafting Carson Beck? The Jaguars, the Jets, or the Giants? Because it's going to happen. He's going to go to one of them places.
I don't think so. It's going to be somebody who doesn't need a quarterback. He's going to get a good job. He'll get a good job where he's just going to that is 100% not a good job. That team is crazy. The defense only shows up kind of sometimes. You got Aaron Rodgers there to bully you. No, that'd be the last place I would be looking to go. I mean, is there an opportunity because you have a bunch of good players on the team? Yes, but that's all you have. They don't, whatever they're supposed to have as far as continuity and whatever they don't have. They just got a bunch of good names. They're almost like the opposite of the Lions.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. So, Stetson, it is what it is, bro. Oh, Cooper Rush 2.0. Yep, I can see that. You should look to be a good quarterbacks coach. Be the clipboard holder.
Oh no,
the next
he'll get one chance.
grad assistant. He'll get a chance. No. Yeah. Cade McNown, you remember him? He was a professional clipboard holder. If you can do it, he played for almost 20 years at $10 million a year.
We're gonna see how good Carson is in the NFL for sure. I mean, because let's also be very honest here. There are not a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft. This is the reason that the Falcons drafted Michael Penix. After Shador and Cam Ward, then everything gets dicey. And Tennessee going to be looking for another QB because Levis ain't it.
We'll see. But, yeah, so Georgia won. Shout out to Gainesville. The Florida Gators beat the LSU Tigers in Gainesville 27-16. Why am I as a Georgia fan saying shout out to Gainesville? Because I told y'all just last week when Norwood was trying to convince himself after they extended Billy's contract that, hey, he could still get fired after getting beat 45-35 nothing at halftime against Texas. I said no. Because what's going to happen is they have these 3 games left. They have Florida State. They have LSU. Who else they got? They got another team. Is it Kentucky? No, they already played Kentucky. Yeah, another team. I said, they're one of these 3 games, they going to win. And I said,
no. We had Georgia, Texas, LSU.
What's after that?
And then Mississippi State and then FSU.
Yeah. So I said, hey, they're going to win. Oh, yeah. I said they're going to win one of those 3 games. Georgia, Texas, or LSU. I said they're going to win one. It wasn't Georgia, thank God. We knew it wasn't going to be Texas. But LSU could be had. And LSU was show had in Gainesville. And they won 27-16. DJ Lagway comes back, plays well. Billy gets the confidence of the team. And they win 27-16 over the Bayou Bengals. Shout out to the Gators.
This is by far the worstest case scenario that could have ever happened. And let me explain to you why.
I told you it was going to happen.
Florida's losses are Miami, Texas A&M, who was like at one point top 10.
Thumbs up.
Tennessee, 8. Georgia, 2. Texas, 5. And then on top of that, you beat LSU. This is the worst case. So the games that he lost are perfectly acceptable to lose because you are supposed to lose.
Exactly.
Then, so they cover your ass. No matter what happens, there's no way he could do it anyway. Even though, please let us not forget, we got in this damn hole in the first place because who did he play at quarterback? Graham Mertz instead of DJ Lagway. Who told you game 1, play DJ Lagway? We knew we didn't have anything in Graham Mertz. We knew he wasn't going to be the future. You might as well have gotten Lagway to reps. So that's the reason it doesn't matter. You pissing me off. All of this is clearly obvious that he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's won enough games. And I have to give him credit. He has recruited his ass off. That's what he's really been able to do. He didn't flip like 4 guys. Like, this is the thing. Somebody lit a fire under Billy's ass, and Billy pulled out every big joker in every favor he could. And he's recruited all these players, and he basically, the kids are following him at this point. So if they get rid of him, then we would lose everything, including DJ Lagway. So we're stuck.
And what does that remind you of? There was a coach at Georgia that could not get over the hump. He always had a number 1, number 2 recruiting class, top 5 recruiting class, and the hype was there. And now he has returned as Billy Napier in Florida. Y'all are destined to be number 11 to number 15 forever. Until he decides to leave or y'all go and decide to get somebody else. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Hell no.
Y'all going to be right on the outside of the playoff every year.
I would be okay with that. Please click the next one. Not let's talk about DJ. No, go to should have been fired first. No, go to should have been fired first. Hold on, I'll tell you. So, Billy Napier is about to get the same year as the damn Mullen got at Florida. Mullen, after 3 years, listen to this number, 29-9 and the SEC champion in 2 seasons, and 2 seasons with double-digit wins. Billy Napier is 15-18.
Oh, yeah.
Third losing season. That's completely different. If we were 11-15, like him or don't like him, I probably have to shut up. 15-18, third losing season. No. What are we doing here? We know who this man is. And as much as I didn't like Mullen, he's way better than damn Billy. And us settling with a bad coach makes no sense to me. None. Zero. Negative sense. And now I got to watch. I mean, I get it. Lagway's good. And we can't afford to let Lagway walk out of the door. That's the reason I'm not mad. There's nothing we could do. DJ Lagway looks like a world beater. He looks like, I don't care about your notepad or your pen.
You're on the couch right now. You're venting.
Hey.
I'm making sure I take my notes. Because this is a therapy session.
Hey, your day gonna come here soon and very soon, my boy.
Hey, at least I ain't wearing no sunglasses on here. When my team got stomped out and then wore sunglasses because my rival got beat, I ain't do that. Don't get sensitive now. You did all of that. I was quiet. The only time I wasn't quiet and humble, we got beat. Hey, man, just know I ain't forget. I ain't forget nothing.
Bro, I re-listened to the pod this morning, and I was listening when you said that about you. You said the Lord told me you need to be humble.
I sat right on down too. I said, "Dang, my whole weekend lost. Everybody lost."
I am humble though. My team sucks.
That's not humble. That's anger. They ain't humble.
I'm realistic, and I acknowledge their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
SWOT analysis.
Yes. Of emotional breakdown.
Hey, at least now let's take it over. Now that we're done with Gainesville, ironically, you're wearing LSU colors.
No, I'm wearing Omega Sci-Fi colors. Let's get that clear and very clear.
I'm sure LSU was founded before Omega Sci-Fi.
Hey, they don't have nothing to do with each other. The furthest, let me tell you, literally the furthest from each other.
One of my buddies that he's now married, and people grow up. We're not growing apart. It's just people's lives move on. But he used to say, as watching the Falcons and watching the Georgia Bulldogs, his teams always seem to fall down the damn stairs when things need to happen correctly. Hawks included. Right now, it seems that title has been passed on to LSU. Brian Kelly I think his seat went from, we'll give it another year, to sizzling within 2 games. They've lost 3 in a row. They lost to Florida. As you can see here for the video experience, we have where LSU's linemen try to take matters into his own hands, similar to Southern University. Who thought that Southern would be the best team in Baton Rouge? When Southern University's linemen picked off the pass, the offensive lineman for LSU, who allowed a sack, then caught the ball or the fumble and tried to then run up the field on 4th down, and he ends up fumbling and making it in a 13-13 game. 2 minutes left in the quarter. And Brian Kelly's like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah. And Brian Kelly gave one of them players everything that he wanted to hear. Hey, there's always a camera on you. For anybody who didn't know.
Don't matter. We'll get to that. That player deserved it. This player did too. But that player deserved it because he called him uncoachable. Now after that, it is what it is. But this is a microcosm of their season. This is just a clusterfuck. Their season's been a clusterfuck.
Yep. And shout out to your sister Lauren on taking this L. Congratulations. Because she loved to get right in them DMs after they done won. So yeah, congratulations. Hold that L. And there's always, I guess, next season maybe.
For both of y'all.
It's always been next season for me. What you talking
about? So those were the storylines to me. Those were go ahead.
I was about to say, and by next season, I mean next season, because I'm gonna have to deal with another year, Billy.
Yep. So those were the games of the week for me. We got our upset city We had that last week, and I brought it back. Kansas upsets the Mormons. BYU loses to Kansas 17-13 in Utah, where BYU is. Uses 17-13 in a real upset. Now, the Kansas faithful showed up and did their little cult-like chant of Rock Chalk Jayhawk. And they were talking trash, saying this was not a real upset. We've been better than y'all. Y'all are a fluke. So now BYU, I don't know if they're out of there, but they are clearly.
They are out of there. You're done. You can wave at your playoff
Why?
chances.
They in the Big 12. Why?
No. Toast.
What's toast? If they win the Big 12, they get an automatic bid.
That's where I have a problem.
And everybody else is beating themselves. So even if they lose in the championship game, they'll only have They only have two. They only have two losses. Even if they lose in the
boy already said they're all beating themselves. I said, what have you said, my boy?
What have you said, my friend? But BYU, even if they lose in the championship game to Colorado, then you'll have Colorado and possibly BYU in there as an at-large, and because they're not. If BYU is 10-2, 11-2, they'll take them for parity over 9-3 SEC team, or 8, they'll take BYU first.
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's the thing. I think that Tennessee is a better team than BYU.
But I don't think that this is about the 12 best teams.
And that's okay. BYU is now 14. Texas A&M back to 15. Florida's schedule is so tough. That schedule is unreasonable.
Yeah. I mean, at least y'all got them at home. We had to travel. We went to Alabama, to Texas.
Y'all have
to
a coach
Florida,
and a team.
To Ole Miss. And we played 3 home games. We played 13 games. We had 3 home games. 5 total.
And y'all have a team and a coach. All we have is a quarterback and a hope and a prayer.
The audacity of it.
We got a couple of receivers too, but Big Screen Billy gonna mess it up. Keon Ellis is smoking us single-handedly. 27 points, 9-12 from 3.
So in another upset city that I don't believe was an upset at all, South Carolina, number 21, upsets number 30. Missouri at home, 34-30, where they scored the game-winning touchdown on a screen pass from the 15-yard line with 5 seconds to go. You, as a team, Missouri, deserve to lose because of that. That's it.
Yeah, but Missouri has always been trick bag. They continue to be trick bag. Outside of Luther Bird, just didn't love it, and they kind of proven to be who we thought they were. Or at least who I thought they were.
Yeah, they don't have they ain't had a quarterback. I mean, just be honest, they ain't had a quarterback. They have good skill positions. They have decent, and they don't win in the trenches. It's very difficult now, especially that Texas and Oklahoma have come to the SEC. Missouri was feasting on those recruits from Texas, Oklahoma, in that Southwest area, saying come play SEC ball, because if you go to Texas or Oklahoma, you ain't especially for defense. That's why their defense was always so good. Now the money is here, and you ain't got as much as that oil money down there in Texas or that copper money in Oklahoma. Let me tell y'all, both of them places got a lot of money and a lot of resources. So, Missouri lost, but we want to focus on South Carolina because we've been telling y'all for a while South Carolina has been good. South Carolina has been 4-0 since mid-October, 2 top 25 wins and an average of 35 points per game. And this is with a quarterback a freshman quarterback or sophomore that is still redshirt freshman that is still developing. If he can learn how to throw the ball, the whole SEC is in trouble because that defense is crazy.
Instead of making a move after Beamer, we're going to stick with Billy Napier for another year. Great job, Florida. You guys are what I consider killing it.
Well, I told you, y'all going after Lane. That's why Lane only signed a 1-year extension. Y'all are going after Lane. Lane is the guy. That's who you said you wanted.
Yeah. And that's the reason I'm frustrated, but I can only be so frustrated because I can't get there's very low chance of me having Lagway and Lane at the same time, even though that would be scary.
But let's not talk about the losers. Back to South Carolina. 4-0 since mid-October, 2 top 25 wins and an average of 35 points per game with that defense. With that defense, I think Kennard is probably going to leave, but they play 9 defensive linemen. I counted. They rotate 9 defensive linemen. And this is after 2 people transferred out. I see why dude transferred to Georgia because you weren't going to play, brother.
Best defensive line in college football. I don't care what anybody says, hands down.
Not even close. It's not at this point. I don't think anybody else can say anything. Shane Beamer and Dan Lanning. Shout out to Saban, and I guess that's gonna go under Bill Parcells' coaching tree total. But shout out to Kirby Smart, man. Your assistants that have left are killing it. Number one, you got South Carolina. You have who left? Dude at Syracuse. They were ranked at the beginning of the season, although he don't take no showers. I don't know what the hell he thinking, man. Syracuse head coach says he don't take showers when he lose. What is it?
Boy, first of all,
Coach Brown, Fran Brown, yeah.
You're coaching in Syracuse. Go ahead, just bathe, my boy. It's gonna be okay.
And you deserve lotion too, brother. Shea butter or something, because you're gonna be chapped. Yeah. You bald too, bro. So you're gonna be chapped. This is Fran Brown. He said, "I don't deserve soap when I lose. I don't take a shower." Let me tell you something, bro. If there's ever a leave your job at the job quote, it is this one, because you can't be coming home to a woman.
Oh no. He said she won't allow him to get in the bed. He has to sleep in another room on the sofa or something.
You voluntarily funk up your couch? I mean, I guess you have millions of dollars to get the upholstery clean.
No, bro. Football, I love football. I genuinely do love football. Football coaches say some of the craziest shit. I don't deserve soap is at the top of the list. I'm going to tell you one thing I always deserve. Some good hot water and soap.
What is the craziest statement? I don't deserve Coke. I don't deserve soap after winning. Coke. I don't deserve soap after losing. Or
thanks, Mike Irv.
Or I slept on an air mattress for 8 months. Which is worse? Call back to DeAndre Ayton saying he slept on an air mattress for an entire basketball season while he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, literally.
So this is the thing.
He can't go all trashy and funky.
Yeah, right. The least you could do is wash your butt after you got your butt whooped. But like Ayton, that was just really stupid. This isn't as much stupid as just crazy or delusional. Ayton big ass on an air mattress for 8 months, getting paid $30 million a year has to be, and that attributing to the reason that you play really terrible basketball is some of the stupidest things I've ever heard anybody say. That you're right. That's dumb.
$30 million a year divided by 12 is 2.7 something million dollars.
No, you could buy the whole air mattress industry for that much.
That's $500,000 a week. A mattress costs $500.
You could start an air mattress company for that much.
You could have went and picked out the horse that they was gonna shave bald to make your mattress like Drake. But you
also, let's think about this. I assume that there's a young lady who's laying on this mattress with you.
Again, you just
Wait,
remember
hold on,
the young lady was the adult film star who's used to having sex in different places. Remember that. Remember that callback. That was around the time LaMelo was dating Drea, or whatever with Drea and Tiana Trump. Boy, both of them came up. So she may have been used to the air mattress.
But you can't be doing that on the air mattress, my boy.
That's why he was out talking about my back hurt. Yeah, okay, bro, you ain't got no support.
Yeah, because you were sleeping on the floor with a lady who's a Power Ranger, and that is now you need a backiotomy. Oh Lord, and you know what? I was unfamiliar with your game, Aiden. After what I saw, you were sleeping on the mattress, all right.
Yeah, I was about to say, did you actually go and look at her?
I just did. She should have told you to get out the air mattress, but
I did shaped like a S.
And she is. That's the first picture they put up. She was like public. like a Pirates logo. God. Hey.
That boy said, man, I'm tired. I ain't got no legs. I bet you ain't got no legs, bro.
Let me tell you, bro. You know what? I rescind it. This will make you I 100% understand how you ended up on the air mattress. You weren't using any brain cells, and I would not have either. I would not have consulted my brain with anything, because he might have told me, no, don't do this or anything else.
No, that wouldn't. Soon as that S come out, you'd be like,
brain.
The money is guaranteed. You'll be okay.
If I only had a brain, what? I don't know anything. I don't even know if she can speak.
Oh man, that boy came from the islands. He came here. Was like, what?
and got him a little island. That's what he got.
Oh man. All right. Let's get back on track. So, we're talking about stupid quotes. So that was funny. Let's get back to football. So the playoff race is starting to take shape.
You remember the PT Cruisers?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's
Jungle
just want to know. You remember
Bounce House, bro? I would, bro. What? I can only imagine. That's why God had to give me maturity before money. I had to get maturity before money, because if I was immature. But back to football. Let's get back to football. So the playoff picture is starting to take shape. And there is one team, maybe the hottest team in the league, in the country. Colorado wins again.
On fire.
They beat Utah, who was supposed to be, even though Utah is a bad team or not as good as they normally are because of all the injuries, they're still a good defensive team.
But that Cam Rising injury is who they are. He's been hurt for too many seasons. You can't. The promise, that's gone. That's who Utah is. They're a pretty decent team, but they were a team at the beginning of the season that was believed to be better than Colorado. Colorado came in there and beat them handily.
Beat them down 49-24. Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders, that whole team. Colorado has been the most impressive team to me this entire year, from where they started to where they are now, because nobody believed in them. Nobody.
I still give that to Indiana. They are. What he's doing is bomb.
I agree. Indiana is impressive, but Indiana had no expectations. Indiana had none of the pressure, none of the really vitriol. They got to fly under the radar. Colorado has had every game on national TV.
You're right.
Every game. The only team.
Jid at the game, Rajon Rondo at the game.
Everybody.
You're right. You're right.
And Dion is now looking like, depending on what side of the coin you are, he's looking like an evil genius or just a genius. When he came out with that explanation of how he recruits, because remember, he was the one that started with the portal, the flip.
I don't think he should have said that out loud, though.
Why? At this point, well, so what he said, for those that are listening, he said, we only recruit 10 or 11 players out of high school. And he said that at Jackson State. And he told y'all his first season, he said recruiting is changed forever, which is why I respect him. And because it's everything he said is true. He said recruiting is now changed forever. I'm only going to recruit 10 to 12 high school players, and then I'm going in the portal because that way I can have immediate results. And if I get the high school players, they know that when we recruit you as a freshman, you're going to play. Jordan Seaton and all those other guys.
That was very insightful. If you're right, it's no more. I'm not going to Georgia and sit behind 7 running backs and wait my turn. I can go to Colorado and play right now.
Now there was a little, well, that ain't always true, but there was a little gamesmanship there. Yeah, there was a little gamesmanship there because he took shots at Georgia, he took shots at Ohio State, he took shots at Alabama, all the schools that are always in the top 5 recruiting. He took shots because he said, well, their recruiting classes are 38 and 17 of them leave. So if 17 of them leave, you need to re-rank the recruiting classes. And he said, if you re-rank the recruiting classes of people that stay, we're always going to be in the top 15 because our players stay.
I agree with that. With the way that people move around now, that's the reason I look at it and I don't even know what to make of it. Like, oh, okay. By the time that it's time to play football, how many of these players will still be around? And until you can prove that it's going to be a lot, then I just play football now. Don't recruit. Don't rank the recruiting classes. Just play football. I'll be able to tell who's good by playing football now. All this pomp and circumstance.
And he said that 3 years ago. And he then, that same year he said that, he got Travis Hunter, who at this point has to be in the top 2 for Heisman, maybe the front runner. I don't know. Ashton Gentry's putting up video game numbers. But Travis Hunter has 10 total touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards receiving, which he's probably going to eclipse in the next 2 games. 3 interceptions, 8 pass defenses, and 1 forced fumble, while being the number 1 receiver, the number 1 cornerback, and basically shutting down a half of a field. They don't really throw to him anymore. And after this weekend where he had that pick off of that deflected pass, they may not throw to his side of the field anymore.
3 games that he has he has an interception and a touchdown.
And he would have more than this. He missed 2 games because of injury.
Correct. But you got to really put that into context. That means there's a drive that he stopped and then he scored. That changes, that's
14 points. I'm worth 14 points. Every time I get on the field, I'm worth 14 points. That's hard. That's hard to argue against for the Heisman. That's hard to argue against.
Gentry's like, hey, man, I'm here for 200 yards.
I'm 200 given. 39. I'm 5'9", and they give me more carries than Derrick Henry.
How do you pick between 14 points and you got to take the points. But also with the run, you get to get game time.
Every time I touch the ball, it's a first down. Every time I touch the ball, he's averaging 7 yards a carry. Every 2 times I touch the ball, it's a first down. Every 2 times. No matter what point of the game, we're up, we're down. Every 2 times I touch the ball, it's a first down.
You know what else I'm really happy about this year now that I had a chance to think about it here? This is not the year of the quarterback. And it's always the year of the quarterback for the Heisman. And this year it's like, nah.
Yeah, because they're not going to give it to Shador.
Yeah,
and Cam Rising lost.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's probably out of these 2 guys. And I'm so happy that it's not. Let everybody have an opportunity to win the MVP. There's so many things that are just quarterback centric that make it, he's got to be the person every time. No, let's get some things around here.
Let me ask you a question.
Some opportunities.
Let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
And I normally try to not have a lot of racial conversations, but when was the last time we had a Heisman Trophy watch with no white finalists? Not one.
That's the reason they didn't let him play quarterback for a long time. We're going to talk about that when we get to jersey sales, because that is surely something interesting. That's very interesting to me, who sells jerseys in the NFL these days.
You got Ashton Genty. You have Travis Hunter. And I think the third person is got to be Shador. That's the only other person. Dylan Gabriel.
Click Heisman watch.
Oh, my bad, y'all. Behind the scenes. Yeah, because I'm going to talk about the playoffs.
Hey, Saints, also, y'all should draft Jalen Milroe. Whatever you got to do, you need to.
We'll get there.
Milroe on your team.
Heisman odds movement. Travis Hunter. Oh, come on, man. There we go. Travis Hunter is now the overwhelming favorite to win at -400. Dylan Gabriel went to +2,500 after that awful game against Wisconsin. Cam Ward has lost to Georgia Tech. And normally when you lose, you lose.
Get you right on out of there.
At the end of the day, they going in. Cam Ward is out of there, and then Jalen Milroe can't lose. No, I don't know. That's another question. I need y'all to answer this question. Has anybody lost to Vanderbilt and won the Heisman in the same season?
It ain't that many people
that lost to Vanderbilt, which is why it's a good question.
Milroe is a touchdown machine, though. That is the thing about him. He is a touchdown machine.
Yeah, he run the ball
just enough, man.
He got he can throw it. He can run the ball very well. I think he broke the record for rushing touchdowns in a season by a quarterback at Alabama, which was breaking Jalen Hurts' record. But man, when he throws the ball, dog.
Yeah.
Where's Ashton Genty? Oh, Ashton Genty's at +375. Mm-hmm. That's disrespectful. This whole graphic is disrespectful. ESPN Bet at ESPN CB. How college football? How y'all have all of these Heisman folks and you don't have Ashton Genty on there at all? And he's the next person at +375 who's going to be a finalist. It's disrespectful. But y'all messed up, though. Right. You know why you messed up? Because this man right here, you can't see it, but this man right here told y'all Shador's going to be a top pick, a lottery pick. So is Travis. And Travis is going to win the Heisman. And we go into a bowl game. And why can't we make the playoff? He said all of those things 2 years ago. Or when he got there. 2 years ago. Last year. This is year 2. Last year.
Have to give him
and he is
due.
That
this year's execution has been impeccable.
Flawless.
Him and Brock Bowers, they got me. And you was making jokes about his fingers and look at his left hand. Lord.
Yeah. That's what happens when you play in the 80s and 90s. There ain't no rules. That's why them dudes that played in the 50s legs be cut off and all of that stuff. So the Buffs won. You got the Heisman, Travis Hunter. Shout out to Colorado superfan Peggy. Was emotional at Folsom Field after the whole crowd sung her happy birthday. Dion has pretty much adopted her as his Colorado grandmama. She celebrated her 100th birthday. She's been a Colorado Buffaloes fan since forever. And they sung her happy birthday. And now Miss Peggy sees to see them go to a bowl game. This reminds me of the lady from, was it St. Mary's? Was it St. Mary's?
Oh, yeah.
Or IUPUI or one of them in the basketball in the NCAA tournament when she was there. I know
exactly what you're talking about. The nun lady. Yeah.
Yeah. She was like 90 something and she passed away. But so shout out to Miss Peggy, man. And hey, sometimes Oh, and she has an identical twin too. Well, she had one. That's crazy. So shout out to Miss Peggy in Colorado.
Peggy been supporting that team for that long. Y'all should have been hired a black man. Peggy could have saw multiple bowl games.
Y'all should name a building after her.
And him.
Yeah. So she cried and she was so happy and she's in good.
Yeah,
she looks good.
I was gonna say, Peggy, you look damn good for $100.
A hundo, 1924.
Doesn't seem a lot. Get out of there. Hey, Peg, got a couple of days. I need to know where you were.
About a whole decade worth. I need to know where your stance was, big dog. Where you was at? Where you was at?
Can you tell us where you were on these dates?
I will let you know if I was singing you happy birthday when I know exactly where your stance was in 19 blah 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 blah. But you said it. I was like,
You was thinking that.
Yeah, of course. That's my mind is always there. And Dion is he needs to open a sports marketing agency. He has changed everything about Colorado. And to me, it's not about money because Colorado is closer than we are to Oregon. So he has a direct pipeline and they're sponsored by Nike. So Oregon is going to sponsor everybody on the West Coast. And because he sells so much, he's so influential that they brought back his shoes. And now they're wearing them everywhere. And I'm going to get me a pair of them Atlanta Falcons ones. I don't know how I'm going to get them because they sold out in like 1 hour. But I'm going to get them.
I have the black and gold one. Shout out to the plug.
Shout out to the Alphas.
No.
And Miles College, a.k.a.
Definitely not. And the plug is going to be like, well, hell no. But no, this offer letter is crazy. And like I look at it from the sports marketing positioning of this is like a combination. Number one, his brand is on everything, which is great. His sneaker is on everything. Nike gets good branding. This is as good as it gets. And Colorado, you get to go along for the ride. You're not even, I don't think, doing the majority.
You don't even got to do nothing. Talk about investment.
You are literally just reaping the rewards of an excellent hire.
You look good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. No, you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. And that was his famous quote.
And putting that on the offer letter also sets the tone. Like, hey, we're gonna get you to the pros. Whether it's actually gonna happen or not, it sets that standard that we're here to win now and to create professional athletes.
And I love treat you as a professional.
He puts his brand on everything. All right, Nike, you're going to get yours. Colorado, you're going to get yours. But also, you're going to see Prime 21 everywhere.
Everywhere. And he's coming out with his own show. He's got a whole show that's going to be on Tubi. Him and Roxy. Is it Roxy? That was on 106 Apart? Yeah. He's gonna have his own show. So Dion in Colorado, I mean, he says, hey, we flipped the roster. And it seems like everybody was mad at him at first because of the way it happened. But it looks like he just ripped the Band-Aid and dictated how this NIL will go. If you think about it, he dictated how this will go. Because if you remember Dan Lanning, which is, I would love to see them in the playoff replay each other. Dan Lanning was like, clicks over bait and all of that stuff. And talking about Dion, and they tried to score 50 in the first quarter, and Dion said, this is as bad as we gonna be. Let me tell you, if this happens, y'all should put the playoff on pay-per-view, and I'd still pay. If Dion wins the Big 12, and they win and get one of the first round buys, and they win the game, because they're gonna have to play a SEC at large. They're probably gonna have to play like Ole Miss or Texas, and they can mess around and win that game, and then play Oregon in the semifinals or in the quarterfinals to get to the semifinals, Colorado might beat Oregon.
You think Colorado can beat, you said Ole Miss or Texas?
Mm-hmm. I think Ole Miss and Texas will beat each other up. because they're gonna get a bye. Big 12's gonna get the bye.
Yeah, wow.
SEC, ACC. No, they're not. Big 12. Yeah, SEC. No, because SEC, ACC, Big 12, Big 10.
No,
so ACC ain't gonna get no bye, and they're not gonna give a bye to the Power 5. Well, the Group of 5 conference, I think, gets a bye.
Yeah, and Boise's gonna be there. They're gonna get one of them.
They're the Group of 5, so they're gonna get the bye. That sucks because I don't think they deserve the bye. But I mean, I think Colorado can hang. I think Colorado is putting fear in a few people just because nobody expected them to be this good. And while we're here, because I forgot to say this last week, or maybe I did, and I'm just gonna say it again. Shout out to Warren Sapp, the best grad assistant in the history of grad assistants. He has that defensive line and offensive line, because you remember Warren Sapp came in as a tight end. He has that defensive line and offensive line playing out of this world. They get to the quarterback, they make you uncomfortable, and they've gotten better. That's how I judge a good coach. I don't judge a good coach by, okay, y'all have, like the 2022 Georgia football team, you ain't have to coach that team. The only game you had to coach was Ohio State. Did you freeze?
They were gonna go out there. No. I'm here, but yeah, you're 100% correct. That team was prepared to win.
Yeah, you didn't have to coach that team. They had what, 15, 20 something? Yeah, in that first, there you go, mostly keeping out of trouble. That first, them 2 drafts they had, 21, 22, Georgia had 40 players drafted in the first 3 rounds or something crazy like that. See, you don't got to coach that. But no. When you get
on day one, I've never been so concerned in my life. I said, "Oh no, this is a problem for me."
But when you can get a team like, I think Kirby Smart coaching this year has been one of the better coaching jobs. I think Warren Sapp and Dion coaching this year has been one of the better coaching jobs, because for different reasons, but the same outcome. They have gotten better as the year has progressed, especially the unit of the D-line in the front 7 for Colorado. They have gotten better, and I think that's part of it is the transfer portal, part of it is coaching, because you have to learn the playbook on a very quick basis now. But shout out to Warren Sapp, shout out to Dion. He flipped the coaching staff and the roster, and he's built it, and they will come. And I'm letting y'all know now, the number 1 quarterback in the 2025 class, Juju, from Carrollton, Georgia, who was committed to USC for 10 months, has now decommitted. And it is rumored he is going to either pick between Indiana, Colorado, or Georgia. I think Colorado has the inside track. I think he's favored to go to Colorado. So that means Dion would have gotten the number 1 offensive tackle last year. He got Travis Hunter. He got the number 1 cornerback in Cormani, but Cormani had some issues. And then you have,
and on
Juju.
top of that, he's gonna also, at the end of this, he's gonna throw 2 guys into, I assume, top 10 draft picks here. So
easily top 10. Well, yeah, easily. Shador's gonna end up being the number 1 quarterback. Him or Cam Ward by default. Ain't nobody else. There's Jackson Dart ain't it. Carson Beck ain't it.
Or I mean, I could see certain guys. Certain teams want a specific profile of quarterback. But it's going to be tough.
Giants. But let me tell y'all better get away from that profile. Y'all had a different dude come out there and he won a game, and then you fired him and brought back Eli for 2 years. Y'all had Geno Smith. Geno, who leads the league in passing, Smith was on the Giants and started 1 game and won, and y'all got rid of him and brought back Eli for 2 more years to be trash. Dude.
What was your boy? Who's always the backup quarterback everywhere? Who got his lung punctured?
Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, y'all stabbed the man in the lungs.
Exactly.
No, that was the Chargers. Chargers stabbed him in the lungs and started Justin Herbert. Like, y'all keep. All right, never mind. Hey, again, 2025. Y'all over there could be terrible. Not my fight. Y'all figure it out. Just like, nope. Let me get out of there. So. Where are we? I'm gonna take it to I'm gonna go. Okay, so now that Colorado wins, the playoff race is kind of taking shape. Sorta. We talked about the Heisman watch. Um, you have the AP poll was released tomorrow. By the time you're listening to this, the college football playoff rankings will have been released. So we'll probably talk about that on Saturday. But the AP poll has been released, and
It's probably pretty close.
The top 5 stay the same: Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Indiana. Notre Dame is now number 6. I don't care. They wasting an at-large bid. Alabama 1.
Huh? Yeah, that's exactly.
Alabama 7, right. Georgia 8, Ole Miss 9, Tennessee 10, Miami 11, Boise State 12, SMU, BYU, Texas A&M, and then Colorado hovering at that 16 with Clemson, Army. South Carolina is now 19, Tulane, and the rest. We don't care about 2025, except for Washington State. Colorado is the most intriguing team here to me, because if they keep winning and they beat BYU, they gonna be right up here at number 10.
They should make Army play South Carolina, since they believe that they're that close. I think that's disrespectful. And Carolina beat the hell out of the troops.
Especially now. Ain't no sympathy for the military.
Boy.
They be out there.
Them defensive ends will make y'all have a bad day.
Yep.
Change your career path.
So what's interesting about this is Oregon and Ohio State are probably going to play again in the Big Ten championship game. Texas is probably going to end up playing either Alabama or Ole Miss in the SEC championship game. Georgia and Tennessee and Miami. Miami's going to win the AC. Oh,
watch Ole Miss lose to Florida. I can just see it.
Makes us look better. SMU this third row, this 11 through 16, 11 through 16, 11 through 17 is interesting, because you got Miami and SMU. SMU was just I think they are number 1 in the ACC. But Miami is ranked ahead of them. Georgia lost to Ole Miss, but is ranked ahead of them. So we're about to get some clarity in the next. Go ahead.
And Texas A&M can beat you. I don't want people to forget that.
They lost their number 1 running back out for the year, though. Remember that's why they lost, because he got hurt. But I mean, rivalry is rivalry. They can beat Texas.
I don't trust y'all either. I don't trust y'all at all, Clemson.
You can be had. So with the AP poll, you starting to get best chances to reach the SEC championship, playoff chances, and all of that stuff. So the SEC championship is going to dictate a large majority of what happens in terms of seeding in the playoffs. Texas has a 74% chance to play in the SEC championship, where they will probably end up playing Alabama, which has a 69%. And then you have Georgia, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. Georgia has a 37%, Texas A&M 18%, Ole Miss 2%. I don't know how Ole Miss has 2%, but it has to do with tiebreakers.
Chaos.
Texas and Alabama playing each other. If Texas beats Alabama, do you leave Alabama out of the playoff with 3 losses? Do you leave a 3-loss team, SEC team, out of the playoff? If Alabama beats Texas, let's say this holds weight, and Alabama beats Texas. Now Texas has 2 losses to 2 top 10 teams.
Alabama, once you lost to Vanderbilt, you lost control of your season. Whatever happens, happens. That's not acceptable. You can't have that happen. If it had been something else, then I don't know. Now, losing to Tennessee and losing to Texas, more than fair. But losing to Tennessee and losing to Alabama in the SEC championship, that would be okay. losing to Vanderbilt is a problem. That's on you.
Ironically, the
But
team that's
hold
sitting
on.
the best here is probably
You
Georgia.
can't leave them. You can't leave them out. They beat
To Alabama,
Georgia. Yeah. They beat
LSU.
Missouri. They beat LSU. And they beat South Carolina. That's another top 25 team. Yeah. That's one, two, three, four, five top 25 teams. And then, I mean, Oklahoma was at one point right there, even though they're not ranked anymore, I don't think. I mean, if I beat five top 25 teams, the Vanderbilt loss is bad, but that shouldn't be the end of my season.
Well, it all depends on everybody else. So you're not going to get 5 teams in here, and the team that's probably sitting pretty and sitting the best here is Georgia, because Texas and Alabama are going to have to play each other. Texas A&M is going to have to play Texas, and that's going to be a de facto. Eventually, the SEC championship game is going to be an elimination game.
Yeah.
Now, what makes all of this interesting is
y'all get the old SEC skate. Congratulations.
what makes this interesting is if Ohio State beats Oregon, or Oregon beats Ohio State, and then Indiana, but Ohio State beats. So the Big Ten can do the same thing. Ohio State beat Penn State. Ohio State plays Indiana. Indiana has the opportunity to beat Ohio State. And I think Indiana and Penn State play each other, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope.
They may not. But I know Indiana and Ohio State play this Saturday. And then Oregon probably has the easiest schedule to the Big Ten championship game. So there's so many moving parts aside from you, Notre Dame. But there's so many moving parts for this 1 through 11 minus 6. Well, really 1 through 13 minus 6 and 12, because Boise State going to get the at-large. Notre Dame's going to get an at-large. These 12 teams, 13 teams, 14 teams with Colorado are really about to battle it out. And I can't wait. So with that being said, we talked about the SEC. So then the chances to make the college football playoff, Oregon pretty much has stamped their ticket, is what they're saying. There's no way that they cannot make the playoff. Then there's also too far. There's also Indiana, who has a 97% chance of making it, because the only other ranked team they play, I believe, is Ohio State, who's the number 2 team in the nation. Ohio State.
They only got one. I think they only have one game. Like the most games they could lose is 2. That's all they got left. And you're not going to take them out even with 2 losses.
And Ohio State is if they lose, they would have lost to the number 1 team and the number 4 team. I mean, that's a better resume than Georgia at that point.
Yeah.
Texas 94%, because I mean they're favored, and these percentages are all based on who's favored the rest of the way in their games. Georgia 92%, because they probably aren't going to have to play in the SEC championship game. Alabama and Tennessee are low at 71 and 66%. One, because Tennessee lost to Arkansas, and Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, and they probably are going to lose. The elimination game is going to be the SEC championship. So that's going to get at least 2 of those teams out of there. Boise State 77%. All they got to do is win out. And then Notre Dame at 69%. All they got to do is win out. Penn State at 88%. I think Penn State should be lower, because they haven't proved that they can win big games. They've beaten bad teams, but they haven't won big games.
They can't win big games, and definitely not on a consistent basis. For sure not.
Not at all. Not at all. So, from a college football standpoint, man, this playoff race, this is going to be a great November, great last 3 weeks of the season, which is what they were trying to do from the beginning.
That's the reason, as much as I really wanted it to be 8, kind of is what it is.
Well, it's currency, money. That's what it really is.
Now, this is the other part. These playoff games are going to be interesting, because you're going to have like the teams that kind of always have been able to skate with, we just didn't play them, So we could be national champions because we went undefeated, USF. Nah, there's not going to be any more of that. You're going to have to play Alabama and have fun with that. Or you're going to have to play Texas, have fun with that. You're going to play with it.
Also, you eliminate opting out. Good.
This is where you potentially lose recruits. You go out there and get shellacked.
Recruiting's changed. The money. You go out there and get shellacked, and you're going to still get a top 10 team if you got the top 10 NIL. That's just going to happen. But what this does do is it eliminates opting out for more games. So the NCAA, especially football, took such a loss when people have been opting out. If they're not in the 14 playoff, they made it a 12-team playoff. So now nobody's going to opt out of the playoffs if you make it. And if you do, you hurt your draft stock. So it makes sense why they did it. From a functionality standpoint,
it kind of made a buffer for like the rest of those teams. If your team didn't finish the season top 12, then you probably need to be playing in a bowl game because you probably need good tape. It's going to be very few in between guys who are good enough to just sit out the bowl game, but your team wasn't competitive. I don't know if there would be a guy this year who could do that. Maybe I guess they probably going to no bowl game anyway. But Arizona and like maybe Ted McMillan, I think that him, or I mean even Luther Burden.
He lost his draft stack. Travis Hunter locked him down.
Nah, his draft stock's still where it is. Everything says top 10, first receiver off the board.
Yeah.
And the Hawks steal a win.
We won?
109 to 108.
Whatever.
And Keon Ellis shot 9 of 15 from 3. Jeez.
Oh, but he was 6 of 9 in the first quarter, or first half.
Oh yeah, no, he was 6 of 6 in the second with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. I was like, oh my God, we getting Tom Zadaransky again. He ended up with 33 points. Go look at him stats. Every other night it's probably like 7 Hawks, 33 personal high. Congratulations.
This is not 60. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the college football segment of episode 167 of the Splashcast. We're going to add, we had 2 more things to talk about, but we're going to put that in the pregame for next week because I've never seen somebody have to wrestle for the ball versus a coin flip.
I like it.
With that being said, y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna go get another beverage because tomorrow's Tuesday and I'm off. So Norwood's allergic to vacation, I guess. I will be back with I said no, I'm not. We'll be back with a beverage. We'll talk about some black QB sales in the NFL, live from the Falcons nest. We'll talk about the best team in football and our games of the week. Y'all stay tuned. Episode 137 of the 167 of the Splashcast, episode around the league edition. Y'all stay tuned. Like, follow, subscribe, by the way. Until next time.
Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. We here for it.